Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly tech video. This week we're doing something totally different. We're doing a tech Q&A. Now I asked on Twitter for any of you to give me some questions on technology based items, and yeah, I've got a few questions, multiple from multiple people, which is great, and yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so the first question is from Dan. He says, what do you use for streaming your gameplay? Now, I stream, the majority of my games on my gaming channel have been streamed from my PlayStation 4, hence you can press the share button, broadcast it straight to YouTube, and yeah, it just works great. It just does it there and then, I haven't got to worry about anything. I've also streamed Ghost Recon on the Xbox using the Elgato capture card, but it's a lot more complicated on the Xbox, and something Xbox really need to do is implement YouTube streaming directly in the console, because I mean, we're in 2017, like, is that not a thing? That should be a thing. At Tech News UK says, what would be the features of your dream phone? Now for me, it is very much about the feel in my hand. Like, that's a massive thing, because think about it, you're holding your phone all the time, so it's got to feel comfortable to hold. Now the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6s design and 7 design, curved, this is the best iPhone design ever made, in my opinion. It's such a comfortable design. I didn't really like the 5 and 5S's. I thought it was too blocky and clunky, and I didn't really like that design in comparison to this one. So I think for me, it's definitely the feel of the phone. In terms of features then, I may have to say like the camera. I think the camera's massive, because you know, if the camera on this phone gets like so good that I can vlog on this phone, like, that's just amazing, because I always have this phone with me, so having that would be the best thing for me, I think, having a good camera like this type of quality on my phone. Dan asks again, what's the future for the smartphone industry and what would you like to see happen? Now, smartphones are going to get better and better and better. There's no stopping phones. Like, I think within 2 years, every phone will have a 4K screen. If it hasn't got a 4K enabled screen, then there's no point buying it. I think in terms of design, I think they're going to stay as thin as they are now. I don't think they're going to get any thinner or that much thinner. I mean, you can't get a phone that thin. I don't think that's going to happen for at least another 10, 20 years maybe, in terms of a really thin smartphone. But yeah, I think the screen is a massive thing that people are concentrating on right now. Top feature that's been going on the last few years is water resistance and, you know, waterproof phones. I think that's going to be a major thing going forward. And also the headphone jack. I know that's a big debate, but I think the headphone jack will be gone within at least 2 to 3 years. That won't be a normal thing. And I know Apple are very controversial now about the whole headphone jack thing, but I think in the future, it's definitely going to be a feature that's going to be like, why have you got a headphone jack? That's such like the dark ages. You know what I mean? I think that's going to happen. Andrea asks, is there any danger in using public Wi-Fi? Is there anything you can do to ensure your information stays safe while using it? Public Wi-Fi is probably one of the safest Wi-Fis you can use, because it's got so many firewalls blocking different sites and obviously adverts and stuff. So yeah, public Wi-Fi is one of the safest ones. Would I log on to my bank, for instance, on there? No, I wouldn't. Like, there's a limit. Like, it's common sense, really. I think if you went into like a public place and, you know, you on a public computer, yes I am, you know, that is key. I wouldn't do some things on public Wi-Fi that I would on my own Wi-Fi at home. So yeah, for me, it's just a bit of common sense. I wouldn't personally go on at my bank, and you know, Facebook, yeah, it's fine, but like bank details, anything personal like that, try and steer away from it. If it's urgent, obviously you need to do it if it's the only option you've got. But yeah. Alex says, what made you first like Apple products? It was the iPod Shuffle. I had like the USB style one. It was 512 megabytes. Absolutely loved it. The main reason why I started liking Apple was when I had an iPhone 3G. I had the second iPhone when it came out. But a funny story actually, I had that phone, upgraded it to iOS 4, and the phone wasn't compatible with iOS 4. Like, it didn't run iOS 4. It was a big scandal about it. It just wasn't compatible. It made the phone 10 times worse than what it was. And yeah, I kind of boycotted Apple then, and I went for a Samsung Galaxy S1, the first ever Samsung Galaxy S. It was a brilliant phone, that was. But it was Android, and Android is very open, and I had a virus on my phone. Within 6 months around the phone, I had a virus on my phone. So whenever I was in a text message, it would like do weird things. Anyhow, bought myself out of that contract, and then I upgraded to an iPhone 4S, which was the start. An iPhone 4S, about every iPhone since. I had iPhone 5, 5S, 6, 6S, now the 7. And then obviously, love just goes. When I went to uni, I bought myself a MacBook Pro. I had iPad, I had an iPad 2, then an iPad Air. I just love Apple products, and I think that's where it started. I do a lot of reading of Apple products, I do a lot of listening to podcasts about Apple products, and if you want me to do a video on like where I get all my Apple news from, and where I get all my Apple information from and stuff like that, and what I listen, what I read, Let me know down below and I'll do a video on that. JTTV says, is it true when you type in the wrong password on a phone more than 666 times it blows up and sends you to the gates of hell? Only if you have a Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Dan says, what's your filming rig if you have one? Well, I do. I have a basic camera. This is my vlogging camera. I use this for every video more or less that I film. And yeah, it's a great camera. All the links to the equipment are down below in the description. Yeah, it's the Sony a5000. It's an amazing camera. It works well. It's got a screen that comes forward as well, so I can see myself at the top when I'm filming, or when that helps more when I'm vlogging, obviously, because I can actually see what I'm filming and what's in the shot and stuff. But yeah, it's a great camera. Alex says, what tips would you give for lighting on my setup? And what items would you recommend? Now, I definitely recommend you go and check out my setup video. In that video is all links to everything in that video. Now, the first thing is LED strip lights. You've got to get, they're so inexpensive. I mean, I think I paid like, for all my LED strip lights, I think they're like £6 each, something like that. And then there's a bulb that you can get as well, which came in at like, maybe like a tenner from like Asda's, but they're so inexpensive, and lighting changes your setup. Having the LED strip behind like your monitor or TV changes your setup completely, and it makes it feel worth a bit more money, which I think is a massive plus. So yeah, in terms of lighting your setup, LED strips all the way. You can change the color, and you can do it so inexpensive. You haven't got to have the fancy Philips Hue stuff. I haven't got that. You know, would you pay £150 so you can control it via your phone, or would you just pay £10 so you can have a little remote and just click it off on every now and again? If you're on a budget, LED strips are the way to go. Dan says, smartphone or video camera? Now, I use the majority of my vlog clips when I can on my video camera, but there is some situations that I can't take a camera with me, so I use my phone. Now, I use my phone a lot in the car for like time lapses and stuff, because my phone is just like mounted on a thing on the window, so it works well that way, whereas the camera wouldn't work that great that way. I am looking at getting like a mount for my car though, because they do make mounts for cameras, but there is situations like I was in the Apple store the other week and I filmed myself there, and I couldn't use my camera because they're not allowed to film in the Apple store. So using your iPhone is a very subtle way to film, and yeah, like, you know, using your phone is great. I mean, phones nowadays are great cameras. I use my phone as my main vlogging camera before I had this camera, so yeah, it doesn't really matter what you film on as long as you've got a camera. That's the main thing. Just get the content created and get it uploaded. Andrea says, do you see your laptop as more useful than your desktop computer? Definitely. I've got an iMac. I don't use it hardly, which is shocking to some people, but yeah, I've got an iMac. Don't even use it that much. But my laptop runs this YouTube channel. I edit every video on this. I'm always staying at Hannah's. I'm always going to work and stuff, and I edit all my videos on the go. When I've got spare like 20 minutes or whatever, I'll have a quick edit. Like, so Sunday's video for tomorrow now is kind of been editing for the last week. Now, I think that would change, like if I was doing YouTube full time. If I was doing YouTube full time, I probably would edit all on an iMac, because my iMac is more powerful than my laptop itself. And then I probably wouldn't need a laptop. But I'm always going to be traveling, I'm always going to be on the go, regardless. So laptop is a key one for me. But if I was doing YouTube full time, I probably would use my iMac more often, because I'd be home, I'd be treating YouTube as a job, so I'd be more in my office as in my desk space. And yeah, Ivan says, which do you think is going to over the next gen of consoles? Win over, I imagine. Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox? Now, this is a controversial one for everybody probably involved, but I think Xbox are gonna win the next one. I think with the PlayStation 4, I think PlayStation have learned a lot about PlayStation and like becoming the best selling console this year. I think next year they're just gonna like take it easy. Whereas Xbox, let's be honest, they messed up. The Xbox One S should have been the Xbox One. Like, there should be no Xbox One. I can't believe they made a console that was bigger, and I just don't understand why they released the Xbox One. Who approved that Xbox One to come out, that black one? It's not a good design, it's not a good product. It's just not good. It's just not good. It gets so loud, it's just horrendous. Whereas the Xbox One S should be the main Xbox console. There's no excuse about that. It should be the #1 Xbox console. But I think Project Scorpio, they waited for PlayStation to announce their PlayStation 4 Pro, and now they're coming out with a Scorpio, which is gonna be a little bit better. But I think in the next generation, Xbox is gonna win it, because I think they've learned a lot from the past, and they're gonna have an Xbox 360 era, let's just say. Tech News says, what is the future in your opinion? Driverless cars or AI? I think driverless cars is the future. I think with Uber getting involved, big companies like that. I mean, Apple are rumored to be doing an Apple car. Google obviously doing their car. I think cars are the future. I mean, technologies now like Amazon, Google, Samsung, Apple are taking over banks. with Apple Pay. You know, they're getting money for people spending stuff with Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or whatever. Those companies are getting money. They're getting like 0.01%, but they are getting some money from every purchase you make. So I think the tech companies now are going to be the next banks in effect, because they're, you know, everyone eventually is not going to use a card. Cards won't even be a thing. It'll all be on your phone. That is the future. I think tech companies are just gonna do the same with cars. I think if Apple come out with a car, if Google come out with their car, and obviously Samsung might explore cars, I think cars are the future. Driverless cars are the future, definitely. For companies like Uber, like, think about it, like, you could have a driverless lorry that could just drive from like London to like Edinburgh non-stop, not needed anybody there. You know, obviously when you've got somebody driving it, you need somebody to drive like 5 hours, you know, stop or whatever, and then drive another 6 hours or whatever. They can't physically drive 24 hours straight, whereas a driverless car could just drive non-stop wherever you wanted it to go. And he also said, who's your favourite YouTuber? Well, I did an entire video on my top 5 YouTubers, and you probably asked this question before that video went out last week, but if you haven't, go and check that out. But yeah, there you go guys, that's all the questions from my first tech Q&A, and if you like this, smash the like button down below, because it really does help me, and if you want me to do this again, let me know down below, because I will. And yeah, thank you so much for watching guys, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!